With Warzone Season 4 Reloaded, we got the release of a Vanguard assault rifle, the Vargo S. Now, as any Warzone player could tell you, there has already been a Vargo assault rifle in the game, the Cold War Vargo 52. But which Vargo is the best Vargo? To start comparing these two, I first looked at the overall damage of each gun. The Vargo S does more damage overall, killing in 5 shots to the head or 8 shots to the body. The Vargo 52 is a bit lower, taking 7 headshots to kill and 10 body shots, so that's 1 point in favor of the Vargo S. Next though, we have to look at overall fire rate. For the Vargo S, using 60 round mags, the mag is emptied after exactly 5.833 seconds. The Vargo 52 is a bit faster, clocking in at 4.433 seconds to empty a 60 round mag. While a 1.4 second difference might not sound like a lot, a slightly faster fire rate can greatly impact a weapon's overall time to kill. And with Warzone's relatively low health pool, time to kill is one of, if not the most important aspect when choosing a weapon. So that's 1 point for the Vargo 52. Given that the Vargo 52 has a faster fire rate, but the Vargo S does slightly more damage per shot, I figured that the time to kill for each weapon would be pretty similar. The Vargo S, while hitting body shots only, had a TTK of 733 milliseconds. The Vargo 52 was only slightly faster with a TTK of 700 milliseconds. However, while hitting headshots only, the Vargo S clocked in at a surprising 333 milliseconds, while the Vargo 52 was far behind with 533 milliseconds. And again, while it might seem like these numbers don't really matter, in Warzone, every second, or in this case, millisecond, counts and could be the difference between life and death. Since the Vargo S has a much faster headshot time to kill, it definitely has the ability to be a super lethal weapon. However, that's assuming that you only hit headshots 100% of the time, which you're most likely not going to do. And since the Vargo 52 has a faster time to kill when it comes to body shots, overall the time to kill between these two weapons is basically the same. Since the time to kill is split here between the two, I'm going to consider this one a tie and give 1 point to each. Now, the last metric to compare between these two is recoil. Both have a decent amount of recoil, but when testing the recoil patterns, I noticed a few things. The Vargo 52 definitely has more total recoil. However, the recoil pattern goes mostly straight up, making it pretty easy to control. The Vargo S, on the other hand, has less vertical recoil, but significantly more horizontal recoil, and tends to start by moving left and then pushing to the right. You can see that when I worked to control the recoil, the size of the bullet spread was about the same for each gun. However, I personally found the Vargo S a lot harder to control. Generally speaking, vertical recoil patterns are pretty easy to compensate for. All you have to do is pull down on your mouse or thumbstick. But once you start adding in recoil variants to the left and the right, that makes it a lot harder to predict where the recoil is going to go, and therefore harder to control. Since the Vargo 52 felt a lot more consistent in its recoil pattern, and I personally found the Vargo S a lot harder to control, I'm going to give this point to the Vargo 52. Both guns are fairly similar when it comes to comparing their statistics, but their real differences start to show when they're used in an actual game. The Vargo S feels pretty solid as a short to mid-range assault rifle. It's got great damage and pretty decent mobility. Its biggest drawback, though, is its recoil and bullet velocity. The recoil pattern becomes increasingly difficult to control the farther away your target is, and its slower bullet velocity makes it hard to accurately hit shots at range. At the same time, despite it serving well as a shorter range assault rifle, it's still going to lose out to top tier SMGs like the Mark 5 or the Blixen. It seems to sit in a sort of gray area between short-range SMGs and long-range rifles, making it amazing in a few select moments and situations, but pretty mediocre for the rest of the time. The Vargo 52, on the other hand, excels where the Vargo S fails. The recoil is significantly easier to control, and it has a spectacular bullet velocity. It definitely succeeds as a long-range AR option. It has excellent accuracy, damage range, bullet velocity, and is decently easy to control. While it may not be as effective as the Vargo S at closer ranges, the Vargo does have a fast enough fire rate that it can hold its own in short-range gunfights. Granted, it will still lose to top-tier SMGs like the Blixen, but there's really no reason to be pushing those fights with an assault rifle anyway. Overall, I'd give this win to the Vargo 52. It checks all the boxes that an assault rifle should, with practically no downsides. It excels at mid to long range gunfights and still has a decent amount of mobility and fire rate that it can be used short range in a pinch. Pairing it with an SMG is certain to provide a winning loadout for smaller maps like Fortune's Keep or Rebirth Island. Now, that's not to say that the Vargo S isn't viable. It's definitely still a decent option for a mid-range assault rifle if that's your thing, especially when paired with a sniper rifle for longer ranges. Personally, I felt like it wasn't that useful, especially given that Warzone's meta is driven by long-range ARs and SMGs. The Vargo S doesn't really fall into either category, making it an awkward choice. My personal recommendation would always be the Vargo 52 over the Vargo S. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want the loadout for the Vargo 52 that I used in this video, you can find that here or in the link in the description down below. If you liked the video, please let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe if you're new. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.